Live from Las Vegas, it's What Chaos at the Las Vegas, the only hockey show at the Las Vegas.
Welcome to Radio Row at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. What's nuts? It is What Chaos live from... I put in the intro there, I cut out the voiceover guy saying Super Bowl. I just made it go to say Las Vegas again.
Okay.
I think we can say Super Bowl at some points. I tried to Google when can you say Super Bowl without getting sued.
You can say it without the vowels, because if you're watching us live on the YouTube, look behind us. It's got the SU. It's a supper bowl.
But you is a... So it's just...
I know.
We're
I
only
know.
skipping... Oh.
That's
That's interesting. It is What Chaos. We are at the Supper Bowl. It's DJ Bean, a.k.a. Gretzky's Basement, Pete Blackburn, a.k.a. Small Sillinger, and Sean DePaz, a.k.a. the Australian hockey jersey. Can anybody see Sean?
No. I don't think so.
Sean is wearing an Australian hockey jersey and has gotten a million compliments, complaints, threats, whatever so far. Sean is very good at being a disruptor when it comes to the hockey space, and he's bringing it to the football space. I said, what are you wearing? Everybody, what are we packing? Sean says, I'm wearing hockey jerseys the entire week at Radio Row.
Mm-hmm. Sean's always packing.
So strong.
I am always packing.
That's right.
Saying that Sean has...
a large penis.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, I thought you were talking about weaponry.
No,
we have to go through security for that.
That's true.
For your penis.
Well, no. That's why that's allowed in. The strap's not.
The penis is allowed in.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's the kind of stuff we're going to be breaking down here at the Supper Bowl. We have come straight from Toronto. Mm-hmm. Shout out Pearson Airport. Lovely time. I always say, don't judge airlines in airports from one person having a bad experience. We all had such a bad experience at Pearson Airport again. Like, we're just going to drive around Canada before we keep
I will say, though, the people that worked there were incredibly
unbelievably
nice.
helpful.
They made up for how poorly the airport was set up.
You know why?
I didn't know that you could stopped that many times at an airport.
You, like me personally?
You
or what?
personally. Yeah. You personally got stopped at every single point of an airport.
None of it was your fault, so I don't want this to come off as blaming you. But if you weren't there, Pete and I would have been through like an hour earlier.
That's not true, because I was assisting with the kiosk a lot. There was a lot of what button do I press, boss kind of stuff going on. So I think I saved like 30 seconds and then added like 45 hours.
Yeah, the only reason we had trouble with it, though, is because of the discrepancy between your passport and
No. If we want to make this a whole airport etiquette show, I was not integral. You would have helped.
Sean, I'm on your team.
I mean, we had the same problem that we had in Boston when we left. It's just that Toronto
your
was way
name
busier.
isn't matching whatever's on your passport or something.
That did happen. I'm saying I saved, again, probably like a total of like 90 seconds of
kiosk
where
time?
do I put where do I put this, where do I scan this sort of stuff. So I was good for practical reasons.
Fair enough.
Sure.
I just got in the way in other reasons. Anyway, we're coming straight from All-Star Weekend, which was wild. Here in Vegas, we're going to do some stuff with the Knights. Right after this, you're going to see throughout the coming days and weeks, we knocked out 2 Pro Shop Wars in Toronto. We're going to do more while we're here in Vegas. We're going to go to Oilers Golden Knights Tuesday night in Vegas, which is the hottest ticket in the world.
Possibly, that's the real big game.
Possibly the biggest game that's happening this weekend.
Right.
Initially, we were going to say that as a joke, but now people, like, when we said that we're going to this game tomorrow, people were like, damn.
I in complete honesty, care way more about who wins that game than who wins the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
I am so distracted by the idea that you guys are painting me as, like, the person that holds us back.
We're not spending any more time on this.
It wasn't your fault.
We're not spending any more time on
I mean, like,
stuff.
We could do a power rankings of, like, people who are good at that stuff, and it's going to be ugly for me and Pete. Sean is good at it. right?
At airport etiquette?
And like dealing with like going through a thing
Sean's
and doing
the adult
stuff.
in the room on this podcast, which is funny because he's by far the youngest person on this podcast. The Golden Knights Oilers tickets tomorrow, by the way, are like $700.
Very, very expensive.
Insane.
Glad that we were able to lock them in at an earlier point. We have tons of stuff on the What Chaos YouTube and on the socials. We did a great documentary on Frank Vetrano with the Ducks. That's amazing. You've probably seen some of the stuff on various social media platforms by now, but also on the YouTube, we have long, lengthy, not too lengthy, not to the point of being boring discussions with Mike Hammer of Violent Gentlemen. We did a ton of stuff at the Violent Gentlemen pop-up at Lids in Toronto.
I got the best jacket of all time.
He got the sickest jacket we've ever seen. We did stuff with Cam, a.k.a. No Sleeves Gaming. We did stuff with Nasher, YouTube legend. Tons of things on the YouTube, so get on there and then also follow, subscribe, do whatever.
Also, big thanks to our friends from Lids who set us up in their pop-up in Union Station, and our guy Farouk, who is the nicest man of all time. Farouk was the All-Star MVP for me.
Farouk was a legend. So we will run through a bunch of stuff from All-Star Weekend and recap, but the big highlight of today, other than that we are at the Super Bowl and that Pete is way too comfortable being like, oh, DJ held us up at the airport. Fucking guy. Unbelievable. Is that we have Rasmus Dahlin. We sat down with him for a lengthy conversation. He was fantastic. We'd wanted to get him on forever, and we had a blast with him.
There was just a big bang, and it was
a pop. It was distracting. it was like more of a pop than a bang, and that's scarier to me. Because
yes,
I don't want to get into the... Anyway, we will get to Rasmus Dahlin at some point. But first, let's talk about All-Star Weekend because there was tons of stuff going on in Toronto. They did it up super well. That's the first thing I'll say.
Yes.
Congrats to Toronto for having a good, successful hockey thing for the first time in their life. Had a blast. We saw Tate McRae. We saw Michael Bublé. All of these people. Mm-hmm. It was wild. A lot of Nikita Kucherov discourse. You want to just do like winners and losers from the weekend? All right, give me a winner.
Winner was Michael Bublé. Michael Bublé is like obviously has been a star for a while, but I never considered him a cool guy until like the last 2 to 3 months. I mean, I've seen him go on a few podcasts. He seems like a very down-to-earth, like real hockey fan. And then this weekend really solidified that. Not only was he on mushrooms at the All-Star Draft, which key to my heart. What a lovely guy having a time in outer space at the draft.
Allegedly.
But allegedly, sorry. But also him just like going into the media room to do his press conference and like pointing out members of the hockey media that he was excited to see was just very heartwarming for me. So Michael Bublé, big winner this week.
Very, very Canadian. Will Arnett, by the way, I feel like has gone underrated from that weekend because those two doing a press conference together was incredible. There was supposed to be a Bieber and Tate McRae press conference after. The rumor was Bieber, because he didn't have a contract with the NHL and didn't actually have to do anything that he didn't want to do, skipped out on it. As a result, Tate McRae, all respect to her, was like, if Bieber he's not doing it, I can't do it, because then people would be like, all right, officially, Bieber is still cooler than Tate McRae. So respect. Tate McRae, the biggest star of the weekend. People thought going in, oh, come on, it's Bieber. He's so huge. It's his city and everything. I got thoughts on Bieber I'll share in a second. But Tate McRae was the nonstop talk of that weekend, and like not just from us. I feel like we were talking about Tate McRae less than everybody else.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't say she was the biggest star or like the anything, but there was most certainly the most buzz around her than any other person in Toronto.
There was like a hush that came across the room when she walked into that media room to take her pictures.
The energy shifted.
The energy shifted, and it was incredible because she walked in, did her like little photo shoot in front of the backdrop, didn't say a single word, didn't take off her glasses, and then after people were done snapping photos, they're like, all right, and then she just walked out and left. It was the most rock star shit I've ever seen.
So massive winner, Sharky, was seen canoodling with Tate. They were spotted out on the town. There was a picture taken of them getting close. We don't know where it was. It could have been at Scotiabank Arena for the skills competition, but we just don't know when it was taken. But they were out and about together. I don't want to speculate about their lives, but it looks like they've begun to hit it off, and we're a Sharky podcast.
That's right, and now we have to start asking the question, is Sharky the Kid Leroy? Like, is the Kid Leroy inside the Sharky suit?
She was also spotted with the Kid Leroy.
Right, so put 2 and 2 together, I don't know. Big loser from this weekend was Nikita Kucherov. Nikita Kucherov, obviously you mentioned the discourse, the skills competition thing. Like I have a hard time getting worked up about a skills competition, but like Nikita Kucherov went to enough lengths that I was willing to get worked up about it, because what loser energy to pretend like you're too big or too cool to do the skills competition. Like, you have to at least pretend that you care.
But he's like, call me a loser. How many cups do I have? Dose?
That's not enough to pull that shit.
My take is twofold. A, I don't think he was trying to dog it. I think he was probably trying.
Give me a break, brother.
I know what you're talking about.
I think he was probably trying as hard as he was able to.
And then he got embarrassed by... Oh, you saying he's like was hungover?
I'm not trying to lay any allegations against him. I'm just saying.
Well, I can tell you what.
Give one piece of evidence that Nikita Kucherov even drinks,
That's
buddy.
Right.
I'm just saying. There's a possibility that it wasn't that he was dogging it. He was trying as hard as he could, and that's just all the effort.
Well,
he
I'll
gives.
tell you what. They weren't drinking out of those BioSteel containers. It wasn't BioSteel.
It wasn't. And also, in his defense, everyone in like the months leading up to the All-Star break is like, no one gives a shit about the All-Star break, and then a player shows up and doesn't give a shit about the All-Star break, and everyone is like, you should give a shit about the All-Star break.
No, that's my point. Nobody gives a shit about the All-Star break. Nobody gives a shit about the skills competition, really. But you have to at least put in a baseline level of effort to pretend like you give a shit. Because if he's that much of a standout for not giving a shit, he's going above and beyond.
Winner, gay stuff. They had a Pride Cup event with heavy hitters. Like it was, they didn't. I know it's some events over the years they've done like, okay, like let's do something that isn't just our league, and let's do like this. Was like Andrew Ference was there. They had an insane trophy that was amazing. There's a shot of Gary Bettman holding up this Pride Cup that they made. It is not quite as cool as the Stanley Cup, but like the second coolest trophy, not just in hockey, but in the world. Amazing.
It was great.
Another winner I need to give, and this is going to be controversial, Justin Bieber.
I agree.
A lot of hype surrounding Justin Bieber for this thing. Huge expectations for him, and he barely showed up. I can't imagine anyone doing a Toronto hockey thing more than that. That is Toronto hockey.
Well,
everyone's like, you hear? Hey, we got Bieber. He's not really doing anything. Now it's over? What the fuck was that?
I disagree, because he had a story of redemption that weekend, because during the fantasy draft, he was a super lame-o, barely got off his ass, didn't do much during the fantasy draft. But then on Saturday, before the All-Star game, him getting there, hanging out, doing some grab ass in the locker room, and then fully suiting up, hitting the ice for warm-ups, and like living out a childhood dream. That was super cool. I thought that was fucking awesome.
And I was going to say, I may be mistaken, but I was watching like TV at one point, and they were saying that was like his first public appearance, and the performance he did later that night was like his first performance since he had like facial paralysis. So
I didn't even know that was the thing.
Yeah, he had to cancel a tour over it.
Oh shit.
So a little bit of a comeback there, and then like it is very Toronto to like the night that was about him, the draft. Didn't show up. But when it wasn't about him, he became the center of attention.
I think Bieber is big, like, doesn't really care all that much about being a star anymore, just wants to do his own thing, and I respect that.
Winner, Jeremy Swayman. For some weird reason, I have run into Jeremy Swayman like 100 times in the last like 4 weeks, and it continued at the airport. He walked in, we were like, oh, what are you doing? You're going to Toronto? Ha ha ha, ba 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 ba. He was very excited for this All-Star game, and it was his first All-Star game. He got drafted to Team McRae. He got to wear a Piss jersey. Also, winners us, because we were just saying Piss jersey without consequence. People knew what we were talking about when we were saying Piss jersey. David Pasternak wore a Piss suit. That was amazing. Another winner, Alex Georgiev, won $100K. Losers, people who thought that was vindication or proof that he should have made the All-Star team. How fucking dumb are you? He's not bad at hockey. He's just having a bad... Like, yeah, he's able to make a couple of saves one-on-one in a competition where someone's just kind of doing a dipsy-do dunkaroo and lobbing a wrist shot on net. You fucking losers. I gotta stop.
I will say, the fact that it was on McDavid is a little bit of a redemption, because like it was the best. It was
so
the guy
now
that won
he's having a good season, I guess.
No. But I'm just saying, like everyone was shitting on him. He got one chance to be like,
Yeah,
Let's see.
I mean, like, people were criticizing his All-Star nomination, and if he has a bad All-Star weekend and he embarrasses himself, he would have gotten dunked on. And so
Exactly.
I'm kind of happy.
We're
that he
tight
got
on time.
dunked.
Sean,
Yeah.
give us your Thatcher Demko take. He didn't hug Jeremy Swayman.
He didn't hug Jeremy Swayman. I'm sure like everyone's seen the video at this point. If you watch the video, I'm pretty sure Demko was like the first one that one of the first ones that he tried
wasn't.
to hug.
You one of the first.
Sway didn't put his arms up for the hug until Demko was like past it.
All the other goalies understood. All
I'm
the
just
other
saying,
goalies
they all-
understood
he
the
had his
assignment.
arms up before he got
He
there.
looked miserable the entire
he
weekend.
did, but
I have
that's not a
hugged
good
Jeremy Swayman every time I've met him, and it's never started with him. Just like if you see Jeremy
Right.
Swayman,
You
you
just
gotta
wanna
know.
hug him.
He said it on our show. Just matter of fact, I like hugging.
Yeah, that's right. I
He
love
likes
hugging
to
boys.
hug people. So if you're walking by him, you got to assume, even if his arms aren't extended yet, there's probably
He's wanting a hug
coming.
Last loser, have to mention it, Cole Sillinger. The weekend from hell for Cole Sillinger. Everybody was giving it to him. He finally publicly addressed the Tate McRae backlash or whatever you want to call it.
There was a meme that said, step 1, be Cole Sillinger. Step 2, date out of your league, Tate McRae. Step 3, and then it accused him of doing some stuff. Step 4, she comes to your All-Star game and is a bigger star than you.
Yeah, well, not his All-Star game because he wasn't there. But his response was literally all of that is false, which
I texted you guys right after. I was like, guys, Cole Sillinger just said he's not Cole Sillinger.
Right. I respect him for trying to defend himself in the midst of all that hoopla, but you can't say that literally all of it is false when step 1 is literally be Cole Sillinger.
Without knowing what happened there, I don't know what's been like reported as actually being factual or whatever. Like they dated, they're not dating anymore. He has been shit on so much. And I know that like we don't. God, if we were going by hockey social media, we'd have brought up a lot of much worse shit on this show this season that ended up being false.
Young people
like
date,
him.
young people break up,
Yeah.
young people do stupid things.
I like him standing up for himself. Again, like we don't know what happened, like assuming like nothing horrible happened. This guy's getting shit on not just by like hockey fans and everything, by stans who are the most toxic people in the world other than actually bad people. So I do respect him being like, fucking leave me alone, please.
Yeah.
But you got to know that you said you're not Cole Sillinger.
I mean, that's funny. You defend yourself. Don't do it on a random meme that shows up on Instagram. That's the weirdest energy ever.
Save that bullet, and when you do fire that bullet, make sure that you don't deny being Cole Sillinger.
Yeah, it gave off big. I'm so tired of this shit. Like,
I mean, I bet he was. It was his
he
fucking
is,
vacation weekend, and people were probably just absolutely trying to ruin his weekend.
So
Turn
he
your
needs to
phone
like go
off,
on.
bro.
So he needs to like go on 60 Minutes. You're saying? Like,
Yes.
There needs to be like the Cole Sillinger conversation. Last thing, biggest winner, Frank Vatrano. We collabed with him out there. You could hopefully
He's
you've
the
seen
best.
that. If you haven't drafted the Frank Vatrano story, he's awesome. Absolutely is willing to play ball with our stuff. He is great. Shout out to Sammy from the Ducks. They were awesome to us, so check out all of that. And here is...
We got to do DraftKings.
Oh,
brother.
sorry. Yeah. Let me bang out this read right quick. We know hockey games move fast, but with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you can score faster than anything happening on the ice. This week, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. We're going to be probably placing a bet or two on that big game tomorrow in Vegas. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app with code WhatChaos. New customers bet just $5 on the NHL and get $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code WhatChaos. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 888-778-HOPE New York or text HOPE New York 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available. For problem gambling, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/hockey for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2024. All rights reserved. Here is Rasmus Dahlin. We will talk to you tomorrow. Rasmus Dalin at the All-Star Game in Toronto. We have wanted to have you ever since you had that pizza party with your teammates. You seem like a fun guy.
I like hosting parties, and that time was way too much pizza.
It was how many guys were there?
We were like 12 guys and 10 large pizzas and like 200 wings or something. It was not good.
I did like the inclusion of the Hawaiian pizza. Whose decision was that?
So backstory, I asked her like, what do you call Cole? Team ops. Just, can you make an order? We're gonna have a team party, and he added 2 Hawaiian pizzas. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of Hawaiian pizza actually.
So one of your colleagues placed the order. I couldn't help but notice the receipt at the very top says Rasmus Dahlin. Did he call it in under your name?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life, because I've heard of celebrities not using their real name. I've never heard of a civilian using a celebrity's name to get pizza for a celebrity. And I'm sorry I just called you a celebrity and made it weird and everything, but that's wild. I love that move. I also love that Zach Benson had to pick it up.
Oh yeah.
So he lives with you?
He lives with me, yes.
Is he your errand boy?
What's that?
Is he your errand boy?
No, he never listens to me. But I had to go grab the chips and the pop and all that, so he had to go take the pizza, and he got a lot of credit for it.
There's something really wholesome about a pizza party, because I'm sure that maybe guys were throwing back whatever their beverage of choice may be, but like there's pizza at every sort of party.
Even the word pop, the use of the word pop is very wholesome.
But when
I don't know what it's in reference to, whether it's beer or soda, but like no
everything.
matter what, it's very wholesome.
But I feel like when something is a pizza party, it's just, and correct me if I'm wrong, like it's not going to get out of hand, other than maybe you end up with some leftover pizza, which, buddy, that doesn't sound like a problem for me. Toss that in the fridge.
Oh yeah, and a lot of guys brought home some pizza too, so they probably had a pizza for a month or so. So it's good.
Amazing. This was to watch the Bills, correct?
Yes, correct.
Amazing. Linus Ullmark, former teammate of yours and pal, he's a big Bills fan. Can you play sports in Buffalo without like getting that Bills all over you?
What do you mean by that?
Like our producer Sean is like a psycho Bills fan, and I don't know any casual Bills fans. I like
no, it's hardcore. If you're a Bills fan, you have to. You can't just go half. You got to go all in. You know.
Do you think that you and I mean, obviously the Bills have had a little more playoff success recently, but like, do you think that you guys, the Bills, are both in that sort of like, we've got the guys and like we're knocking on the door, and like once we get there, watch out?
For sure. I mean, we're a young team, and we got some stuff to figure out, and we got to be more consistent. But we got all the talent in the world, and we got to compete. We got great guys in the locker room, so we have it. Just experience. We need some more experience, and when we have that, I mean, we're going to be a dangerous team in this league for a long time.
Did you guys feel like the shift of the public perception of you guys from last year to like even this summer? Because I feel like you guys were the hype around like, oh, the Sabres are the team that's going to take the next step. Did you feel that at all?
Yeah, for sure. And that's what we were expecting. We were expecting to take the next step. And yeah, it was a lot of outside noise that we never been a part of before too. So it was a lot of new challenges coming into this year, and we slowly we slowly are figuring it out. And I think we're finding us as a good team now, and we have a lot to give still.
Do you look at a team like the Oilers and like, they're a team with so many good players who are like either young or entering their prime or whatever, and like they're kind of similar to you guys of like, when it's turned on, it's crazy. Do you look at what they're doing right now and say like, this is feasible, not to like break any sort of win streak records or anything, but like we can be this like dominant top of the conference sort of team?
For sure. I mean, some of the games we play unbelievable, and we beat the best teams in the league, and we outscore them, and it feels like the game is super easy. And then another game we can't really find it. So yeah, I mean, we can for sure be a really good team in this league. We just got some work to do.
You guys gave Boston such a good game in December.
You know why?
Why?
I wasn't on the ice. I didn't play that game.
Were you really? I'll tell you the truth. No one else could have played. I would have noticed. We were up very close. I was so stunned by Tage Thompson. And just he's the question I wrote down about Tage Thompson is just, Tage is magnificent. It's not even a question. He's just so big and so vast and such like a tantalizing player.
He is. He can do it all too, and when he's playing really good, he's for sure one of the best in the league, and he got all the skill set and all the tools in the world to be that guy.
We want to talk about the All-Star game in the weekend. You were recently voted best dressed All-Star by us. We thought that you looked amazing yesterday. We went right up to you.
Appreciate that.
Interrupted stuff you were doing. Very sorry about that, but we were like, Rasmus, just wanted to say, damn. What? So you had the green cardigan that said R on it. Was R for Rasmus?
Oh yeah.
That's incredible. Was it custom made?
No, it was not custom made.
Okay.
The brand was rude, but I went with it.
I like it. It was a great look. I do want to flesh out the Zach Benson living situation. How does that get set up? Is that like a you decision? Is that the team asks if he can live with you?
The whole thing was he's a rookie, right? 18 years old, and he was looking for places, and it was talk about him going to a billet family in Buffalo and stuff. So I was like, I got a new home this summer, and it's too big for just two persons. So I was like,
Sick flex.
no, it's not flex. But I had room, and I asked him, "Do you want to stay at my place?" And he said, "Yeah." And it's been, I absolutely love having him in my place. We're having a ton of fun.
What's the worst thing about him as a roommate?
I mean, he never listens to what I say. He just does his own thing, and does whatever he wants.
Did you live with anybody when you came into the league?
Me and Casey Middlestad lived for 3 years when I got into the league. Yeah.
Two pretty young guys, like at the same time, the same situation. What did you take from that experience going with Zach Benson now? Anything?
I mean, we had a blast, me and Casey Middlestad, but I kind of wished I learned this like off ice stuff with preparation and recovery. I mean, I had McDonald's way too many times that season, and at the end of the season, I couldn't even play out there because I was so gassed. Like 80 games, I'm not used to that, and all this little stuff I'm trying to help Zach with, and I figured it out. But after a few years,
you're still so young, but like having a younger player live with you, does that like? Do you feel it like beefs up your leadership bona fides, and that like you're learning a little more about like how to deal with, again, as a young man yourself, but like how to deal with kids these days?
Yeah, I'm 23. No, but yeah, it's definitely I'm a better person because I want to lead by example. I want to show him the best side of me, to eat right, and it feels like he's always watching me. So I'm trying to do the right things, and it helps. And so it's also good for my hockey having him in there. So yeah.
Did you like the All-Star draft, the whole spectacle of it all?
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool setup. Yeah.
So the celeb captains, because this was in Toronto, were Will Arnett, Tate McRae, Bieber, Michael Bublé. Who would be, if there were an All-Star game in Sweden, who would the celeb captains be?
William Nylander, because he's pretty much a celebrity back home.
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of places he'd be a celebrity captain right now, especially here.
He's also like leaning into like the celebrity thing. I feel like he's out there in the podium with like his chest. He's got the earring, got like the long hair. He's like really leaning
It's
into
cool.
like I'm a sex
I
icon.
respect it. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I've seen countless documentaries about like ABBA and like Max Martin and all these like Swedish celebrities, and a lot of things that they push is that like for like hyper talented people from Sweden, they push like be humble and everything. How do you feel that works for you as you're in a different country where if you're a star here, you're supposed to be outgoing and all this big stuff and be larger than life?
Yeah, I like it more. If you're a star, you should show it and be yourself. Have crazy clothes, be yourself and all that. And Sweden, it's kind of like everyone is the same. Don't try to be anyone and stuff. So I absolutely love when all the stars, you see Matthews, Nylander, and all these guys do what they're doing. I think it's helped the game and it helps everyone. So I'm more more American and North American on that side for sure.
Pasternak also dressed incredibly yesterday. He had a whole ass suit that just looked like piss, but it was awesome. It was the coolest thing that's ever looked like piss ever. I wanted to get your thoughts on the Four Nations Cup. That's going to be Canada, Sweden, U.S., and Finland. There's so many good players that get left out of that. Pasternak played in Sodertai. So, like, do you guys get him? Do you scoop up? Do you, like, make JJ Peterka a fake ID and just, like, scoop up all these free agents?
I'd love to. Yeah. No, I mean, that when that got released today, I was so happy because when I was young, all I watched, because you can't watch NHL when you're a kid back home in Sweden because it's in the middle of the night, and then you're able to watch all the best players play against the best players, especially from our country. It's really, really good for Swedish hockey, and we haven't been able to do that because of COVID and stuff. So I'm very happy that I pulled that off, and I think it's going to be a good future with the Olympics and stuff now too. So yeah, I'm super excited for that.
As like a big time hockey guy, like younger guy, were you like a YouTube highlights guy for the NHL?
Yeah, I never watched any live games. All I watched was the Swedish league. But you heard about all these players like Peter Forsberg and all those guys, and yeah, I was always on YouTube watching him go 16 laps around the net and score goals and stuff. So yeah.
You didn't have it was Tage, right, who had the YouTube channel where he just cut up highlights and had like his own NHL mixtapes.
Yeah.
You do any stuff like that?
Yeah, I had an Instagram like double tap if you like hockey. I posted stuff like that all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I think I got like 1,000 followers or something. It was pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible. You hit, I want to say 102.3 in the hardest shot competition last year. We saw Char was on our flight on the way over here, and I was like, damn, I still like kind of want to see him go out there just to see what he can do. I have no stats to back this up, but in this day and age of the Michigan and all of these fun, cool, sweet moves, I want the slap shot to remain the baddest fucking thing somebody can do out there. How good does it feel to rip an incredibly hard slap shot?
It's the best feeling ever. And then see, I mean, using what's it called, the shooter or whatever you call it, that for a hardest shot. What's it called?
Like the radar?
The radar. Do that. It's the funniest thing ever. Like I do it all the time in the summer, just see how hard I can shoot it. And to pull off like a hard one-timer in games, it's like, oh, this feeling is amazing.
You know what's also underrated? Especially like on the power play? A good slap pass, because it means people are afraid of you. Mm-hmm. And it means that like you got them right where you want them. We did a hardest shot thing in Columbus. They have one of those, and I think like maybe Sean got like 40 miles an hour. You did like one of us. I think got like
me.
68 or something.
We were like barely hitting double digits.
Oh, no.
It was scenes. And then even we were like, it's okay. We took video of it and we were like, well, we'll post the ones of us doing like the accuracy shooting. Like our shots were like rainbows. It was tough. But I'm glad that the slap shot still stands for something in the NHL.
If that's the best feeling, what's the worst feeling on the ice?
Like you what's it called? You go from forward skating to backward skating, or like toe picking. It's got to be the worst, no? And they just beat you up the ice.
What's the most embarrassing penalty to take?
The one I took, like
he was
baiting you.
Yeah, you were. Oh my god.
That was like one of my favorite moments of the season.
I knew about the rule, but it's like the puck is right there. I gotta take it.
Well, what's crazy is like the people that have done it are awesome players. Dougie Hamilton did it a few years ago. You did it. So like it's not like it's not like a like bozo kind of thing. It's just like it must be so tempting as a hockey player to have the puck in front of you and be like, better not.
For sure. And it was a 2-on-1 too. So I was like, oh, I'm going. And then right back in. It was crazy.
What did your teammates say to you when you eventually saw them again?
Like, are you effing dumb?
That's the best.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to live that down? How long did they give it to you for?
2 days.
Okay.
The practice next day, and then it was over.
I will say, we saw Akira Schmid a goaltender play the puck across the center ice line this season.
On a delayed penalty.
This season.
It was
like a goaltender on his way to the bench play the puck across mid-ice and got on a delayed penalty and then negated the penalty. It was one of the funniest moments of the year.
Rasmus, I don't use drugs. It felt like what I imagine drugs feel like watching. It was the most incredible. A rush came over us, and later, like maybe like 10 minutes later, there was another delayed penalty. And
the puck
we're
went by
professionals
him.
and everything, but we were like, he's open. Get it to Schmidt. It was amazing. I love shit like that, though.
We need more of that.
Yeah. Like fun moments that, as long as, I don't know, I bet that when you take that penalty, that's a long ass 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Of just being
it was
like,
a guy heckling me the whole 2 minutes before that penalty, and I took that and got right back into it. He was screaming the whole time, like, "You're so dumb." Blah, blah, blah. It's so funny.
So I was gonna say, if anybody did give you shit for it, if like one of your teammates gave you shit for it, just statistically, there's such a good chance your comeback could be like, "I'm so much better than you, though. Shut up! Like, I'm awesome."
Yeah, but I'm done though.
No.
I just imagine you gotta be like itching to get out of the box after 2 minutes and just dying to get back out there.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get the opportunity, you're going right back in. That sucks.
Yeah.
It's Shawshank, you know, in Shawshank when he gets out of solitary confinement, and right away he's like, "Give him another month," and he has to get back in there. It's no good. We are a friendly podcast to the likes of Jeff Skinner, with whom you share a hockey team. He's got
close.
a million wild stories. He has an embarrassing story about meeting Taylor Swift. Zach Dalpe was giving us a crazy story about shooting Nerf guns with him and Ed Sheeran. What kind of Jeff Skinner stories do you have?
Did you guys see what he did last season with the Between Two Stalls?
Of course.
Incredible.
Yeah, incredible, right? He came up with the whole thing. He made everything up, and everyone would just listen to him. So it was his idea.
Truly one of the funnier pieces of content, like in or outside of sports, I've seen recently.
Can't believe he doesn't still going with it. He just shut it down. I don't know what's going on.
He's
That's
got that day
disappointing.
job. Plays too much hockey.
Exactly.
We were trying to talk him into transitioning it into a political show. A lot of divisive topics, really rile people
It's
up.
not a
His
good
numbers would be
idea.
incredible.
Between two parties.
The numbers would be great. Yeah.
Between two parties, he would just have to be like a little like sunburnt and just like a little angrier, and just we'd be able to get some really good content with him. Mentioned Linus Ullmark before. What's your relationship with him? Because he is the loveliest person in the world.
Yeah, he's the best. He's so funny off the ice, and on the ice, you guys know what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to ask about the downtime during the All-Star game. So, like, my understanding is you've signed autographs and you've gone to the aquarium. If you had to get one autograph at the aquarium, which animal would you request?
Just a shark. Easy answer.
But but you're going up to the shark and saying, like, could you sign this?
Oh yeah.
No fear. That's
No fear. I mean,
the mark
it's
of a
it's
good
the
athlete.
king of the sea. If I'm able to do that, I can do anything, right? So
That is true. That would change the rest of your life. I would probably say seal. Seals are incredible.
All I'm hearing is that Rasmus Dahlin wants to play for the Sharks.
Oh, we can start the rumors.
I'm just kidding.
yeah,
Oh,
sounds
we
good.
actually do ask our guests all of this. What can we take out of context and blow up into a bigger story than it is, so we can get a lot of buzz?
wow. I can come up with a lot of weird stuff.
Or any like rumors about your teammates or anything?
Yeah. For
Bad
sure,
vibes.
for sure.
I can see the wheel spinning. You're just
You're
deciding
just
which
deciding
direction.
whether like do I go there or not.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I got some stuff on Samuelson, but I don't know if it's a good path to go.
Well, how about this? We asked Sean Dursey, who's the worst player on your team, and he got mad at us. He didn't get mad at us, but he was like, Jesus, I'm not going to say who they do. In Arizona, they have defense and goalie meetings or goalie dinners where they don't invite the forwards and they just talk shit about them the whole time. Do you guys do anything like that?
No, we don't. But we have our D meetings where we shit on the forwards for sure. No dinners though.
Amazing. Last question, I suppose. If you could change anything about the NHL, what would it be, other than media obligations like this?
If you score during your power play, their player shouldn't come out from the box. You should still go
So
for the full 2 minutes.
what about the PWHL rule where if you score shorthanded, the power play ends?
Oh, that's a good one
Yeah.
too, because you did a great job, right? Yeah.
Right. Like I feel like if it's gonna work that way, I like the idea of keeping like full 2 minutes regardless. But I also think that it's more of a reward for the penalty killing team that if you score, that should be the end of the power play.
For sure.
I know this one guy, one of the best players in the NHL, accidentally played the puck from the penalty box, had to stay in the box. Imagine if the other team scored like 11 times. Is there no limit on how many times they can score?
No.
So you would sit there and take 11 goals against in there? Like,
I mean, you did something illegal, so it's your fault. So.
do the crime, do the time.
Exactly. And
We are getting political.
No, and also I think you can't just shoot the puck down ice. It's an icing, even if it's PK, right?
I do like that, but dude, especially as a defense, you'd be so winded. Those PKs would be so taxing. Or I guess you just wouldn't shoot the puck down. Like you just run the risk of never throwing it down the ice.
Yeah, I don't know what would happen, but I think it would be more goals for the power play.
More injuries, a lot more blocked shots, I bet, because people would just have to lay out to be like, we need anything that's going to stop
I do
this.
find it really interesting that like your answers and your fixes are like very offensively based
More goals.
as a defenseman.
Yeah, I mean the fans want to see goals, right? And we all want points, and I don't know. I think it's good.
Do you think that you could play forward?
I would say more of a centerman.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to forecheck and stuff. That's stops and starts. I just want to angle and just chill out there.
Seems like a chiller vibe on the back end. At least,
Yeah.
like you know your job. I'm responsible. I'm here, but you can also have some fun when you want to.
Exactly.
I did lie when I said last question because I realized we'll all be furious with ourselves if we don't ask this. We're a big Jersey podcast. Sean is a big Sabres guy. Pete is a big Sabres jersey guy. I love all the stuff. What is the best Sabres uniform?
The goat head for sure. It's
Hell yeah.
It's easy.
I own a Rasmus Dalin goat head jersey.
Really?
I do.
I appreciate that.
I do. It's actually my profile
I think
picture
he's got
on Twitter.
a signed one
really?
more autograph, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
love ending an interview with me just gushing and being embarrassing.
I have wanted to do that though with the player to just like establish like we ain't your daddy's interview. For example, can I have your autograph?
Right.
Like
We
the most
love you.
unprofessional shit you could do. Rasmus, you are the best. We've seriously wanted to get you on for a long time, and we appreciate you coming on with us.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
We all silly like the mayor.